Hey there, Coach Abaxial here with Game Gym Online. Thanks for coming in. Regardless of whether you want to win a Clash tournament with your friends, climb a challenger, or one day go pro, we're here to point you in the right direction. This is Close Range Skill Shots. Today we're going to work on firing skill shots while keeping our cursor in close range around our champion. Why close range? The answer has to do with reaction time. The time it takes you to move your mouse is almost imperceptible to you while you're doing it, but a longer distance is always going to be slower than a shorter distance. Most people figure this out intuitively. When you're laning, you don't click from one end of the screen to the other, you click a little bit closer, so you don't have to move your mouse as far to change direction. However, there is another important part, which is angles. When your cursor is closer to you, you don't have to move it as far to change your angle. This lets you use smaller adjustments to pick your skill shot. Most people naturally place their cursor on top of the enemy champion or even overshoot them a little bit. This is fine on a stationary target, but if your opponent is moving back and forth, it forces you to make bigger movements to follow them. If we make these bigger movements, we might get stuck. Our hand might not be able to move as freely, and we might not be able to put our skill shot exactly where we want it. This is the league equivalent of getting our ankles broken. So these close range skill shots, they might be a little counterintuitive, but with practice, you'll find that they help you stop from tripping over yourself.
Exercise 1. Firing skill shots from close range. Let's get started in practice tool with Ezreal. Your runes are not particularly important, but once we get in, we'll turn on cooldown restoration, mana restoration, and we'll also turn off minions. What is going to be important is the key C. So when we press this key down, it toggles advanced character statistics. It also shows us our auto attack range in a circle around our character. We're going to use this circle as a reference point for what we're doing with our cursor. So let's head to the middle of the base. Let's spawn a target dummy. Now, Ezreal Q is obviously a long-range skill shot, as you may well know. And like we said in the introduction, most people, when they fire these skill shots, they just put the cursor, right on top of the champion, maybe even overshoot it by a little bit. However, what we're going to do is we're going to hold down C and then try to fire while keeping the cursor within that circle. So we're going to start going around the target dummy here, like so. I don't recommend using spacebar here because once we get near the top, you'll see it actually takes it off our screen. So instead, move your cursor around to move your screen. Now, you see I do miss a few times. That's okay. We're just training here. Once you feel comfortable with this, we can try and make it harder. Instead of doing it at the limit of the circle, we can instead go halfway within the circle. Now this is going to be much harder. You are probably going to miss a few times. Again, that's okay. The point is that this isn't necessarily how you should play. It's more just to introduce the idea that there can be a little too much of a good thing and that you need to figure out what are your compromises, what are your trade-offs in how you play. We want to make you aware of what you're doing with your cursor. Besides, it's nice as a challenge. Exercise 2, maximum range farming, close range cursor. We can get rid of the target dummy now, and we're additionally going to allow minions to spawn. Now we can even speed them up by 30 seconds, get them straight away to lane. But lastly, I'm going to move here with Shift plus S. Now, we're going to be farming, but we're going to do it with no auto attacks. We can only use our Q to farm. And as well, like before, we're going to try and use C in order to make sure our cursor stays next to our champion. But try and do this from maximum range. Try and be as far away from the minions as you can be. So don't get right on top of them, Don't make it easy on yourself. But now you, of course, are going to miss a few here. But again, as we said before, this is practice tool. It's okay to screw up. You can also warp to other lanes and work from there once you've cleared the minions in an area. Try and make sure you move around. Try and make sure you're looking at the screen from different areas, not just using the same spot over and over again. You'll see that the minions will block you. This is part of the fun. This is intentional. Keep this up for at least 6 waves. Again, it is okay to move to other lanes with Shift plus S. You can also use it to quickly get to the other side of a minion wave. Although, once again, these minions, they seem to really want to block me. Ah! There we go.
Time to play Ezreal in a real game. Try to focus closely at the beginning of this game. If you leash for your jungler, throw that Q from close range while it's on a monster and it's easy to hit. When you come to lane, try and throw that first Q also from close range. Maybe you'll miss it. It doesn't matter. Try and take a risk and do something that's a bit uncomfortable for you. Just doing it a few times at the start like this will help you to remember to keep doing it throughout the game. And again, don't stress out if you mess up here and there. We're playing for the long term, we're playing to improve over weeks rather than just win this one game. Work outside your comfort zone. So, that's all for now. Today can be the day that you learn and master close range skill shots. Coach Abaxial,